Welcome back to the radio room. We're back to looking at the TS 520 that a couple of videos ago we changed the power cord out on and took a quick look at it. Uh, One thing I do want to do, because I have a feeling it's probably something that hasn't been done possibly in quite a while, is cleaning the two relays in it, RL1 and RL2. So we're going to do that today, and I'll kind of show you how I do them. I'm sure there's several different ways to do this, but this is the way I normally clean these. I call them reed type relays. So right now we're looking at the bottom of the 520. You got your primary transformer right here. Right here we do have the two high voltage capacitors, and I'm going to go ahead and change those out. I don't think you guys can tell on the camera, but right in the center there where there's a little dimple, it's starting to get little cracks in it. Probably it might be getting a little bit of heating going on in there that's kind of cracked that a little bit or something. And they might be perfectly good, but they're the originals. We're probably looking at 50 plus years possibly on this on those caps. So we'll change those out. We're also going to change out the little ceramic capacitors and the resistors that are across those, the bleeder resistors. You can actually buy those in a kit. There's a gentleman out there that actually sells these for the 520, and it's the same ones that you put in an FT 101. You can buy the same kit. The only difference is you don't use the ceramic capacitors on the 101s. So first one we're going to we're going to clean is the RL2. I believe it's RL2. I've been working on a lot of 101s here lately, and this would be the RL2 equivalent from a 101. So I believe it's still RL2 on the 520. It's basically the one that handles the antenna switching between transmit and receive, and I believe this has a couple other functions on the 520 versus on the 101. It basically just handles the antenna switching. But we're looking at the bottom of the 520 right now, and the 520 to me is a little bit easier to get to from the looks of things. It's right back in here. So we're going to take this plate off. This is the bottom side, so the tubes are right there. There's the tube sockets right there for the main final tubes. So this is kind of the RF cage, if you want to call it, final amplifier area of the 520. It's got four. Obviously remove the covers, remove the bottom, and we're going to take these three screws out right here to get to the relay. A little bit different than the 101. The 101, the relay is literally right in with the tubes on the top side of the chassis. And this, I kind of like this idea because it seems like we got more shielding right here. So we'll just take these out. Take this plate off. Okay. So see, we also have part of the band switching right here as well, contained in this little compartment right here, and this is the relay. I'm going to try and take this out by hand. It might come out real easily. I know on the 101s when I was doing the RL2, I basically had to almost get like a hook in there and kind of hook the bottom of the relay and start rocking it out. I can actually get my fingers in here on this one. The 101s, they're kind of down deep inside there. So I'm going to try and rock this out and see how well it comes out. Oh, it's actually coming out pretty easy. So there's our relay. And I bet you this is the original. This looks really close to what the 101s have in them. A little bit different pin layout. And I don't know if you guys could see this on on camera, but those legs do look a little tarnished. So it's probably not going to hurt. They're not too bad on that side, but they're a little tarnished. I can see some. Well, looks like they definitely got some tarnish on them, a little bit of corrosion maybe. But we're going to get in here and try to clean these contacts as well. Just kind of looking inside there right now. So let me get this over onto the other bench, and we'll get set up over there, and we'll do some cleaning on it. And the radio seems like it's working pretty good. I will tell you that. I've done some transmitting on it. There was one episode where I was kind of messing around with it, and I was kind of tapping the chassis. I was tapping on the top, and I could hear some noise. So I'm wondering if maybe this or RL1 had a little dirt on it, because I could just tap the chassis, and I hear a little, coming through the speaker. So I'm kind of wondering if maybe this one or RL1, which is actually on the top side of the radio, underneath a board. We'll have to see if we can get a board out of the way to get down to it. But let's get this one cleaned up, and we will put it back in, and then we'll flip the radio around and see if we can get the other one out. So we'll move over to the other bench and see about cleaning this up. Alright, so here we go. We are over on the other bench. Got my relay. This is how I'm going to get into it. Just got to pry this cover off. It's got two little spots right there, and one on the other side. You can see right there that we got to flex this out, and then it'll lift off of there. Got some Q-tips. We'll probably use that a little bit on the legs, maybe. At least on the outside ones. I probably can't get down in between them. And some Deoxit D5. And then I like to use, it's a business card, just a paper stock business card that I cut up into strips. I'll wet the contacts down, and I'll use this to burnish the contacts clean, get any oxidation off of them and whatnot. So let's see if we can get into these things. Get into this and see if we can get the top off. I'm just going to use my fingernail to hold that side. I've already lifted up a little bit. Alright, like that. And that gets us into the relay. You can see it's got, that's what I call a reed relay. So this right here, let's see here. So how this works is it's got this solenoid right here, and just down inside of here you can see where this bar comes under, and when this gets pulled up to the relay, or up to the solenoid, you can see how it swings the bar over. Hopefully y'all can see that. I'm just basically acting like the solenoid, and you can see it moving that bar over, which swings those reeds over to contact. So basically it's each one's a single pole. It's probably it's the effect of a single pole double throw switch basically. So it just moves over there like that. So unlike some relays, they have a spring you can take apart across the top. Doesn't look like we can do that on this one, but I should still be able to get these. I just have to be careful. Like on this outside one, I'll just slide it in there, and then I'll just push gently to act like I'm closing it, and then I can work that back and forth. Looking at the contacts on here, they don't look too bad on the inside. But I'm going to spray these with some deoxit, and then we'll run the business cardstock through there and see if anything comes off. And I'll just work this a little bit, make sure it's on both sides. So definitely have some paper towel sitting around so you don't make too much of a mess doing this with that D5. You can stain stuff, so be careful where you're doing it with. And then sometimes I'll actually go ahead and spray a little on the card itself. And then I just kind of act like I'm closing it. Don't got to close it real hard, just want to burnish those contacts. And I'm not actually seeing a lot coming off here, so these might not be that dirty. Try one that's just a little bit drier. I just mostly was working the material in, but now I want to get one that's a little drier. Maybe it'll be just a little bit more of a burnish to it. Those actually look pretty clean. So now I'm going to get to the other side of those, and I actually have to push it to the other side, put it through the contacts, and then I'll let the pressure, the spring pressure, go back against it. Now I'm doing the other side of where it's, I did the ones that went this way, now I'm doing the ones that go this way. So this would be in your receive mode, anything that's in your receive mode. Actually coming out pretty clean. Just a little bit of, just see a line right there of a little bit of oxidation that I cleaned off of that one. So let's go, and I usually kind of use a different strip each time I do a new contact, so I know that anything that's on there is stuff that I'm cleaning off of the ones I'm working on. It doesn't really matter. I just like to be able to kind of go through and make sure that if I'm doing something, it's something that I know I'm the one cleaning it off, you know, the status of what I'm working on at that moment. So that one's actually, we're cleaning some stuff off. I'm going to spray this one again, kind of flush it out. And then we'll go back in there and clean it some more. Basically just kind of want to clean it like this until you're not getting anything more off of it. Like I said, just lightly closing the contacts. It looks like we pretty much got that one clean. So now we will do the furthest back one. So I need to open these. And usually you're going to have, if you're going to have a dirty set, it seems that it's usually on like the transmit side, I've noticed. And that's probably because there's a little more power going through the transmit side, especially on the antenna relay. Alright. I am going to just pat this a little bit. Don't got to have too much of that deoxit just sitting in there, but it will dry. We'll just get rid of some of the excess on it. Okay. And I usually want to, just kind of give this a good wipe down. It's a little yellowed from heat and time and who knows what else, but just kind of wipe it down a little bit. And we'll go ahead and put its cover back on. Doesn't want to close down either. Doesn't look like, it only goes on one way. Those are just slightly off center. So it does go this way. Click it into place. Now I'm going to spray these legs down. Clean them off a little bit. So I'm probably only going to get to the outside ones with the Q-tip. You can see a little bit of oxidation coming off on that. And they're actually looking shinier as I'm kind of wiping this over here. What I'm probably going to do is use this. And just kind of wipe them down. You can see it's getting some stuff off of there. Actually getting quite a bit of stuff off in here. Okay. I knocked off a lot of the tarnish that was on there. Right before I put this back in, I'll probably spritz these down just a little bit again, so it's got some stuff on there. And then when I place it back into its socket, I'll kind of rock it around. I don't want to get violent with it and bend these legs, but I'll kind of move it in and out a little bit, and that'll help scrub the socket that it's in too with the D5 and these a little bit, and it'll make a better contact in its socket. So that's how we clean that one. I don't even know exactly what the other relay looks like. I'm thinking it's probably going to be very similar to this one, but we gotta remove a board, or at least flop a board out of the way to get to it. So I am going to go back over to the other bench, and we'll put this one back in, and then flip the radio around and get the other relay out of there. Okay, so we're back over here at the radio. I'm just going to go ahead and put this in. I did spray some more cleaner on these. Let me get the solenoid ones real quick too. I don't think I sprayed them down. Let me just shoot them real quick. So I got some deoxit D5 on all the legs. And I'm just going to place it back in the socket and kind of work it around a little bit. Going to make sure I got all the legs lined up. Just kind of work it back in there and kind of wiggle it back out a couple of times. Kind of clean up that socket as well with that deoxit. I don't want to do this too much. I don't want to damage the legs on the relay. We'll go ahead and let that sit. Put that in there. We'll go ahead and put the plate on. Snug these down a little bit. Alright, so that's got RL2 taken care of. Let me reposition the cameras around a little bit, and we'll take a look at the top. and see if we can't get that other relay out. So give me just a moment. Okay, so I got the radio moved around, sitting down flat now. We're looking at the top of the radio. The front is that way, so this would be the left side of the radio. And that relay should be underneath this board right here, which I believe is the Vox board. This should be the marker board. So it looks like we got 4 screws. Yeah, there's one underneath there, one here, and one here. And I think we can lift this board gently and just kind of lay it off over to the side. We got a little cable keeper here, it looks like. Yeah, it looks like it's got that piece, just a coax going to it right there. And it's holding down. We're going to try to be very gentle with these wires. They've been in there quite a while, so I'm just going to see if I can get this screw out. It's also got the little cable keeper in it on it. Just grabbing some tweezers real quick. Sorry about bumping the camera there. Just trying to get some of these wires a little bit out of the way so I can get the screwdriver down in here. There should be one right here. Okay, now I'm hoping we can just kind of flip this board up and out of the way. Somehow. I can't see the relay in there. We'll untwist tie it right here, and this might give us a little more freedom. And there is a relay down in there. Right there. And it's got a spring clip on it. So this could be fun. So I'm going to keep that out of the way a little bit. I'm going to have to... it's got a spring clip on it that's holding it down onto the board. See if I can get some picks or something so I can work that out of there. These basically are kind of like this. It's got the relay in there, and then they spring clip underneath the socket. So you gotta almost push them down and then pull a leg out, get that one out, push that one down, pull that leg out, and then you can usually get the spring clip to come out. Putting the back end's a whole lot more fun. It's one side. Got one side of it free. So there's what I'm talking about. You know, the relay's sitting across here and it's spring loaded down on it. It's got these two hooks that help hold it down in there. Okay, let's see if this puppy... Oh, this one looks like it's going to rock, so I'm going to have to... doesn't look like it's stuck in there, so I think I can just rock it and kind of pull it gently. See if I can maybe get my hook underneath it just a little bit to help pull it up. And there's our relay. And those legs look pretty nasty as well. So we're going to do the same thing to it. So let me get back over onto the other bench. We'll clean this one up. And back over here, I am going to grab, let's see here, just a wipe. This one's a bit more dusty than the other one, so I'm going to kind of wipe it off before I take it apart. Because as you can see, it's kind of dirty. So I'm just going to wipe it off real good. Get all that nasty dirt off of it and stuff. And we'll open it up just like we did the last one. And like that. Yeah, this one looks like it's pretty much the same construction. I do notice it has a different ohms on the solenoid. This one's got a 385 ohm resistance. The other one I believe is 800 ohm. So yeah, we're just going to clean this one up just like we did the last one. Kind of give everything a spray down first. And these legs actually look dirtier than the last ones did. But it's the same construction and same operation pretty much. Getting a little oxidation off of this one. I don't know if you can see that. It's got a little bit of, you know, that black on there. Yeah, that one had a little bit A little bit dirtier than the last ones. There you can see right there, that one had a lot come right off as soon as I started moving it around. So it's kind of hard to sometimes do. There's 3 of them in a row there, so keeping the pressure kind of even between them, you got to make sure you stay kind of straight and give just the pressure in the right direction so that it'll actually apply it to it. Otherwise you kind of, put more pressure on one and then you totally miss another one. Generally the middle one. Yeah, these definitely had some stuff on them. Definitely isn't hurting to clean these. They're kind of dirty. Yeah, I'd say that's dirty. Kind of thinking that maybe this relay may not have ever been out of the radio since the radio was put together. They look a little cleaner now. And once again, I'll spray these legs down again before I put it in to help clean the socket that this is in. I'll probably blow it out a little bit real quick too. Blow some of the dirt out of that compartment. All right, so let me get the set back up over there, and we'll take care of that. All right, so back over on the big bench, we're gonna see if we can get this thing back in here. And kind of doing this blind here, you can't really finger get in the way while you're doing anything. So I'm going to try and line this up and hopefully get it down in there fairly easily. And that might be easier said than done. Because there's not a lot of room. I'm going to have to find something else to, like, my fingers are too fat to get down in there. Hopefully I can do it carefully like this. Alright, it's back down in there. Now, here comes the fun part. Trying to get this back down in there. And hooked. Because it doesn't go in really in a slot down in the bottom of there. It just goes in two little holes in the edge of the socket for the. Okay, feels like I got one in. Hopefully it's actually in, because sometimes it does try to hook the bottom of the relay. Wow, I got it in there. I did that on a few 101s, and I was fighting with it for probably 5 or 10 minutes. One side go in and couldn't get the other side to go in. Okay, sorry about bumping the camera there. Just want to make sure that I'm not pinching a wire here. So the marker board's got some wires that want to hang over just a little bit. Of course, I don't want to catch these over here. Okay, I think I got that pretty close to where it needs to be. And I'll just get the screws placed back down in there. Started and tightened. Trying to make sure I don't get any wires caught underneath that screw. They're pretty tight around that corner right there. Alright, so that's got that back in. Those are tightened down. That board's reinstalled. And that's the two relays I wanted to clean in the 520. I'm hoping it'll help out a little bit on the operation of the radio. Like I said, it was working pretty good before, and I did do some transmitting on it. Made several contacts, made some POTA contacts, and one of the state QSO parties made a few contacts on one of those with it. I think it was the New York QSO party. So it does work, and it was putting out 100 watts on every, at least 100 watts on every band. So I think the tubes are good. I do want to blow these out a little bit better as far as the clean out in here a little bit better. Blow these out. I've noticed there's quite a bit of dust in these capacitors. I want to get all that out, so I'll probably blow them out. Maybe take a really fine, small, like model paint brush, and sweep out the capacitors a little bit. Blow this one out real good, and of course I'm going to do a little bit more cleaning, brushing stuff, kind of down a little bit, getting some loose dirt out of the inside of the radio, and clean up the faceplate and stuff like that. I also do need to, and I'm going to be ordering new pilot lamps for the front. If you'll remember, the whole front's just completely dark. So I'm actually ordering some LEDs, some warm white LEDs. I think they'll work better. I was looking at several different. First off, I don't really want to go with, like a blue or a red or green or anything like that. These were white lights. I want to try and keep that the same. There's also two back in here that I got to change out that are for the dial. And I'm going with warm white because I want to convert it over to LED for one. Because really you should never have to change them again. Hopefully, once they're changed over to LED. And two, I had looked at some just regular white ones. And every white, just white LED that I've gotten just seemed a little too abrasive. I think warm white might have a better, a little closer to an incandescent light. So it'll still look more original. So I guess for lack of a better term, white, a regular white LED is got a lot of all the spectrum on it and leaning a little bit towards, having the blue and stuff in it. The warm white is, I don't think it's going to have as much blue to it. Maybe a little bit shifted more towards just a hint of yellowish to it, more like an incandescent light bulb. So that's definitely something I want to do. I have to order those, and I'm going to order the two high voltage capacitors down in here as well and get them changed out. And possibly I might order the two 450 volt ones that are down in here. So coming along. I don't think this radio is going to really need a whole lot. Everything seems to be working really well on it. It receives good. It transmits good. One thing I do want to go over real quick, and I didn't bring this up. When I got this radio, I tried to do some transmitting with it, and it had the original stock Kenwood mic, and the cord was pulling out like that and everything like that. And as I was taking this apart, the case was literally cracking. Parts inside of there were cracking. I believe there's a wire maybe broke in this cord. So you could key the radio, but it wasn't, there was no audio going in. One of the previous owners, because we had gotten a little baggy with the radio when we got it, had gotten an MFJ aftermarket microphone. I had that hooked up to it, and tried some contacts, and it was mic gain full up, and I was still barely being heard. And I looked at the MFJ microphone. It's a 600 ohm microphone. This is another one of those hybrid radios that they like the 50,000 ohm impedance mics, so that wasn't going to work. I did play with this one a little bit, and push the screen in. This is nothing now. I did check the element that was in it, and it works. The case is just it's crumbling. I mean, you get inside there, the plastic that's supposed to hold this in there is totally broke out. So the screw hole right here, you can kind of see right there, it's just broke right there. It's cracking down there. I didn't like that. But I did have an old microphone that was laying around. Had to do a little bit of a modification on it. This is just an old Midland CB mic that has a 4-pin connector on it. I actually put the same connector that came off the old one. I just wired onto this one. Took all this loose, rewired it. Still using the original PTT for this microphone. Had to do a little modification on the inside of the microphone to get that element to fit up in there. It's in there tight. It keys the radio, and it puts out really good audio. Like I said, I've made several contacts with it. In fact, with this one right here, I'm running quarter to third mic gain, and I'm real comfortable audio from the reports I've gotten. So this is the mic that's going to go with the radio. So other than that, like I said, some cleaning up. I'm going to take all the knobs off probably and clean them up. Give them a little soap and scrub down with a toothbrush or something. It's got 50 years of people twisting knobs, so we'll get them cleaned up. And remember, there is the one knob on the carrier that appears to be upside down to me. The pointer part is not pointing at 0 when you're at 0. It's 180 out, so I'll flip that one around. Get them spaced better so they don't drag against each other. I think it was RF gain, or let's see. There was one of them that seemed like it was dragging on its outer one a little bit. Anyhow, I'll get them all spaced out right. Get a little space so they don't drag against each other. So, alright, well, thanks for stopping by and doing some RL1 and RL2 on the TS520 cleaning real quick. I think it's going to help this radio work out a little bit better. It worked great, but I think, like I said, I was just kind of doing a little tapping around in here, and I could hear something, so I think it was one of those relays. Anyhow, thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you next time.